My uncaring parents bluntly informed me that I was indebted to the sibling they worshipped, forcing me to gamble my entire future for her sake, yet my subsequent actions demolished their reality permanently. Right from the start, it was evident that my sister Mary held the position of their favorite. She's 2 years my senior, now 35, and our folks handled her as if she were infallible. She embodied their ideal offspring, stunning, sporty, brilliant. My mom would endlessly rave about her appearance, her academic success, her charisma. Mary represented all they desired in a child. They bestowed affectionate titles on her like golden child, royalty, our ray of light. In contrast, I always sensed I was merely an afterthought. Filler in the scene. I entered the picture 2 years following Mary, and it was apparent I wasn't anticipated. My parents never bothered to conceal that my conception was unintended. Moreover, I was born prematurely, burdened with a cardiac issue. My medical challenges provided yet another excuse for them to view me as a duty rather than a gift. My early years involved numerous medical appointments, and each instance, my parents would deliver cutting comments about my high costs. My mother often remarked things like, "Our finances would be stronger without those medical expenses." I felt like a living liability, not a kid. And the irony? They didn't foot the majority of my healthcare bills. My grandparents covered what insurance missed. Yet my parents behaved as though I was draining them economically. Looking back, I believe they never pardoned me for emerging with defects. It seemed they resented me for not being flawless. While I was repeatedly reminded of my financial burden, Mary enjoyed elevated status. She captured their complete focus and praise. She was the superstar, the pageant winner, the preferred one. And she was aware of it. Mary didn't simply gain from the bias, she embraced it. She mistreated me and knew there'd be no consequences. It wasn't understated harassment, it was blatant. Once, she shoved me down the staircase for unintentionally handling her assignment. I sustained a large contusion. My mother's reaction? "You ought to show more regard for Mary's belongings." It appeared I only registered when I erred. Otherwise, I was non-existent. One might assume a sibling equates to an inherent companion. But she desired no association with me, except to demean or fault me. And my parents? They ignored it. Not due to obliviousness, but indifference. To them, Mary was impeccable. I was the side note. Education became my sole refuge. Yet even there, I faced difficulties. My condition caused me to miss many classes and lag. Conversely, Mary excelled. Class leader, athletic prodigy, educators adored her. My parents attended all her activities. For mine? Zero. I recall earning an award for a tale I composed and pleading for them to join the ceremony. They skipped it. Mary had a football game that afternoon. Even our birth celebrations highlighted the disparity. Mary invariably had elaborate themed gatherings, decorations, guests, the full spectacle. Me? I'd be fortunate to receive a modest dessert. Often, they'd overlook it or promise, "We'll mark it next week," and never deliver. Observing my parents glow near Mary felt like watching outsiders. They transformed around her. Joyful, beaming, vibrant. With me, it was rigid, obligatory, uncomfortable. By secondary school, I ceased attempting. I simply endured and anticipated departure. Mary was already established, heading to university, encircled by fans. I, however, merely aimed to endure daily without total devastation. But it was tough amid perpetual contrasts. "Why can't you emulate Mary?" they'd inquire. "She's thriving so much. You must exert more effort." Regardless of my achievements, they paled. Even successes merited scant recognition. But errors, like AC in mathematics, provoked outrage. Meanwhile, Mary's missteps were dismissed lightly. I was drained. Existing in another shade is challenging. Being regarded as the faint glow beside the grand fixture? That's distinct. I never felt authentic. They disregarded my identity. They solely concerned themselves with their desired version. Robust, accomplished, attractive. Essentially, Mary duplicate. But that wasn't me. And I eventually grasped it never would. Upon finishing high school, I recognized the need to flee. I yearned to separate from those who never truly perceived me. I implored my grandparents to aid my entry into a distant university. Location irrelevant. Just separation. Bless my grandparents. They were my true supporters. They financed it all. Fees. Housing. Everything. With their assistance, I relocated multiple states distant. It was my initial true breath. No longer eclipsed by Mary. No incessant reminders of her superiority or my fiscal drain. It resembled emerging from a perpetual shadow I'd overlooked. Retrospectively, I perceive the distortion. I endured years believing I was flawed. Merely a load on them. But it was poisonous preference masquerading as standard rearing. Even post-departure, I bore the psychological load. It required years to discard the notion of unworthiness for affection or compassion. Occasionally, I'd hear that internal critique of inadequacy. But I'd reaffirm, it wasn't my blame. Never had been. University marked a pivotal shift in various aspects. There I encountered Greg, my spouse today. We met amid a clumsy first-year orientation in residence. I anticipated nothing, but he differed. Greg was tender, compassionate, authentic. He ignored superficialities. He sought nothing from me. After lifelong validation quests, that refreshed me. We bonded swiftly. He attended when I shared my youth. The anguish, dismissal, endless parallels. He never criticized or deemed me exaggerated. He simply comprehended. For the first time, I mattered to another. He also evoked beauty in me, unprecedented from upbringing. Mary was perpetually the attractive one. The doted upon. I lacked opportunity. But with Greg, I escaped inferiority. I felt acknowledged. Post-graduation, Greg proposed. I accepted instantly. His kin were wonderful. They enthused over the nuptials and proposed cost aid. It resembled a fresh realm. One of inclusion, appreciation, adoration. Announcing the betrothal to my parents yielded frigid response. My mother's precise phrase, "Well, we recently expended vastly on Mary's ceremony. Don't anticipate equivalent." I sought nothing extravagant. Merely fundamental backing, perhaps some zeal. But they feigned no joy. They absented the wedding. Not mother. Not father. Not Mary. No felicitations, no note. Nil. As if I vanished. Which, frankly, was known ground. But I refused deruination. Greg's relatives enchanted it. His mother assisted dress selection, profoundly meaningful. She regarded me as kin. That occasion, I sensed true belonging. Our union wasn't ostentatious like Mary's, but ideal for us. We wed in our meeting city, sealing past agony and inaugurating our joint narrative. Post-nuptials, we remained there, constructing existence distant from prior turmoil. I maintained contact with grandparents, naturally, but otherwise, minimized ties with parents and Mary. And existence, it finally flourished. Greg and I forged stability. Tranquility. Something sans perpetual placement earning. Initially, I experienced authentic contentment. Discovering pregnancy evoked unforeseen sentiments. Elation, certainly, but trepidation too, due to my cardiac state. Physicians long cautioned pregnancy hazards. Now tangible. Informing Greg, he delighted. Yet I detected his mirroring fear. We recognized the arduous path. And it proved so. Complications arose promptly. Doctors suggested early termination. They warned continuation endangered my existence gravely. But I refused. Despite terror, I desired this infant. Greg backed me fully. Though frightened, he accompanied every alarming visit, nocturnal fret, hospitalization. Those 9 months ranked life's toughest. Much hospital-bound, monitored ceaselessly. Cardiac strain immense. Instances I doubted survival. Yet miraculously we endured. Our boy arrived robust. I persevered. But physicians emphasized, no repetition. Further pregnancy lethal. Greg and I concurred promptly. Our household complete. We possessed one another. Now our child. No more required. Reflecting those periods, I still puzzle survival. Dread. Bodily toll. Overpowering. But Greg remained steadfast. My steadfast support throughout terror. Eternally grateful for his grip. Post-birth, existence normalized into simplicity and splendor. We prioritized nurturing him, forming cozy, secure abode. Imperfect, but genuine. Ours. I'd erected a non-pain-centric life. Non-impossible benchmarks. Self-owned existence. Then occurred the unforeseen. We relocated to my origin town. Not voluntary. My grandfather, my pillar, faltered health-wise. Decline rapid. Soul-bonded relative. Couldn't fathom his departure sans proximity. Greg and I deliberated extensively. Ultimately returned. Solely for him. I admit anxiety over parental, Mary closeness. Recalled pre-departure dynamics. Expected no miracle. We secured distant town residence. Sufficient separation. Adequate grandparent access. Strategy, low profile. Avoid kin turmoil. Support grandpa. But simplicity eluded. Promptly, anomaly sensed. Parents initiated contact. Phoning. Messaging. Abruptly portraying me as prized offspring. Mother expressed admiration for my feats. Father inquired routinely on adaptation. Even Mary, former disdainful, turned amicable. Conversational. Distrustful. Post-lifetime disregard or offense, I doubted sincerity. Overnight invisibility to adoration? Suspicious. Unclear motive. Portion yearned belief in transformation. Time mellowed perhaps. Realized mistreatment. Grandma urged openness. They might genuinely yearn you, she noted. So cautious, yet door ajar. Then, fortnight post-return, parental dinner invite. Reluctant, but Greg persuaded. Perhaps benign overture. Reconnection attempt. Initially, normality prevailed. Mom prepared renowned pasta dish, rare childhood miss. Table chit-chat, momentarily believable as familial meal. Then Mary announced surprise. Grinning award-like, purse retrieved, proffered ornate envelope. Opened, assuming appreciation for return or considerate gesture. Wrong. Interior. Note felicitating surrogate agreement. As if volunteered, finalized. Phrasing honored, appreciative, implying pride in life risk for her progeny. Speechless. Eventually voiced refusal. Prior pregnancy nearly fatal. Doctors explicit, no more babies. Medical imperative, not whim. Mary wept instantly, parents defended habitually. Dad labeled selfish. Mom insisted familial duty. Ignored risks. Mary-centric. Again. Yelling ensued. Heartless, unappreciative proclaimed. Owed Mary. Post her ordeals, minimal aid childbirth. Greg rose. Satiated. Declared departure, exited. Drive silent. Stunned speechless. Who demands? Expects life risk sans query? Post-dinner, silence. No message call. Hoped apologetic outreach, clarification. None. Greg affirmed correctness. Knew so. Yet guilt infiltrated. Family, despite awfulness, craves endorsement, affection. Painful, swift shift. Happy facade momentarily. Next, family rupture accusations. For denial. Revelation, unchanged. Affection fabricated. Setup. Refusal rendered enemy. Weeks elapsed. Accepted potential eternal silence. Perhaps optimal. Son undeserving of expendable viewing kin. Then abrupt maternal message. Discussion needed. No remorse. No rationale. Merely that. Greg advised non-response. Drama inevitable. Yet hoped rectification. Responded. Topic? Immediate reply. Solo meeting. Sans Greg. Warning. Why exclude spouse from ending? Agreed nonetheless. Uncertain why. Closure perhaps. Curiosity. Quiet cafe rendezvous. She awaited, coffee sipping nonchalantly. No contrition. No cordiality. Transactional. Direct. Mary devastated. Reconsider. Sole remaining choice. Kin unity. Reiterated medical decree. Pregnancy fatal. Anticipated comprehension. None. Selfish dubbed. Abandoning sibling. Ignored pleas. Persisted guilting assent. Truth dawned. Valuation absent. Purpose. Serve Mary. Refusal villainized. Rose. Declared finished. Departed. Guiltless. Manipulation free. Pretense over. Home. Relayed to Greg. Unsurprised. Irate for me. Proud also. Initially relief washed, yet unresolved. Days later, paternal texts. Family dismantling claims. Mary furious missives. Traitor. Oh, this. I'd reciprocate instantly. Liar? Finger-lifting absent upbringing. Now life-stake expectation? Greg urged blocking. Delayed. Familial severance complex. Bonds lingered despite. Grandma phoned. Distressed. Darling, uncertain disclosure. Parents' legal pursuit. Aiming surrogate coercion. Lawyer consulted. Believed viable case. Sole option, judicial favor. Shocked. Greg, I lawyered immediately. Assured. No prospect. Medical records decisive. Preparedness prudent. Thereafter, hush. Threats ceased. Texts halted. Maternal finale. Disappointed. Family let down. Words lingered. Then blocked all. Conclusion. Greg, I progressed. Sans them. Son's welfare. Our serenity. Approval unnecessary. Months post-severance. Liberated. Thoughts persist. Sans agony. Sans remorse. Calm insight. Unchangeable. Love earning ceased. Illusory. If this tale resonated and stirred your feelings, remember to like it, pass it along, and join the channel for additional true tales and touching narratives. Your backing is invaluable. It enables more such material. Appreciate your viewership. See you next.